target, but their expected goals is more than that, of 3.09. That's their highest XG this season without scoring. And it's their third most shots in a game this season, 23, but only 3 of those, as we were saying, on target. And the stats make it look very dominant for Arsenal, whereas from the thoughts of Jamie and Shay and Theo, it didn't feel like that watching it. Awful lot to discuss, but first of all, let's get some reaction from the Newcastle camp. That man there won player of the match, and he is alongside his captain with Natalie Joe.
Boys, well done. An ambitious performance here at the Emirates, especially the second half, the commitment you showed when Arsenal was just throwing everything must make you proud.
Yeah, very proud. I think it was always going to be like that second half when we went 2 goals up. Obviously, it's only half a job done, but yeah, I thought 2-man, everyone defended brilliant.
Yeah, and another goal from this guy here. Alex, you just keep scoring. What's been feeling different for you to keep this consistency?
No, I think it comes down to a team thing. I think we've been, first of all, very solid defensively, and then we have the quality up front. Today was, again, Jacob who assisted me, so I just tried to be in the right place to finish the attacks.
A very fruitful combination. What is it about you two that's been working so well? Because you've been combining for 7 goals already.
Yeah, no, I think... yeah, it's just the connection. I think we found that in a good way. He gets into good positions, and he seems to find me a lot, which is positive for me and for the team as well.
And Alex mentioned the commitment then in defending, especially in the second half with the set pieces, 11 corners, and you guys just throwing bodies in the box. How key was this level of commitment here at the Emirates?
Yeah, massive. I think to get a result, yeah, you're going to have to defend set pieces well. They're so good at them. So, yeah, I thought everyone was brilliant. They've had chances. I'm sure they probably would have deserved a goal, but just throwing bodies on the lines managed to get over.
Yeah, Eddie Howe already mentioned that in the past couple of seasons, it was a key part of your game to defend really well, and a key part of this identity. So how central is it for you guys when you are defending in this level to just keep going? Yeah,
I think it just gives you a good platform to build on. We've had a sticky patch where we're conceding quite a few goals, but we've had a few clean sheets in a row now. But I think that's the whole team. That's not just sort of the back lads. I think you've seen the way that we defended second half there was brilliant. But as I said, it's only really a job half done. They've got sort of nothing to lose now coming to St James's, so we'll have to be ready for it.
Yeah, job half done, but it's a big step. How big of a step is it to go to St James Park with a 2-0 up?
No, of course we came here with the intention to bring a good result home, and we did. But as Bernie said, it's just halfway done, and we have some time to change things and to come back and do the same job in St James's Park, which is obviously positive to play at home.
And congratulations, you are player of the match. So.
Well done, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you.
There must be horrible interviews to do those because you've won 2-0, but it's only the first leg, so you kind of want to look happy, but you can't look too happy.
Look, we know as players, ex-players, they're very happy in that dressing room right now. Of course they are. They've got to say, do the right things, be professional in the manner, because obviously you need to show that respect as well to Arsenal, because still we're talking about an Arsenal team that are challenged for the title, still, close with Liverpool. So look, we can't shade away from it, but I think going now to St James's Park, I always felt Arsenal needed to be in front, because it's never going to be an easy place to play football. Never has been. But look, they're playing with confidence. A lot can happen. Like we said, it's a long period of time now until that next game. So I think there's a lot that could change in this moment in time. I think the great thing with Isak in this moment in time for him, he's staying fit. And I think that's what's key for him. And those connections with Murphy, I said, he knows when to make these runs, because he's got a different winger on the sides, and I think they benefit from each other, that's for sure right now.
Overall, those stats made it look very, very dominant for Arsenal. It didn't feel like that watching it, did it?
It didn't feel that way at all, and probably me being slightly biased, Mark, but I think when they got the second goal, Eddie made some changes, took 3 players off, put more legs in there, and then they got into more a defensive sort of lower block Newcastle, and probably the possession stats went up, and maybe Arsenal had a few more set plays. But I always felt Newcastle were relatively comfortable. I didn't feel there was like Dubravka making loads of saves and they were, you know, hitting posts and all this, and they were all hanging on. I didn't have that feel about the game. I thought it was a perfect game plan from Eddie Howe and his staff. And no, I mean, stats you can read into them too much, can't you, Jimmy?
I agree, Shay. I think you're spot on. I think
comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, it's never comfortable because you know they've got players, and especially with Arsenal, they're so good at set pieces. You always feel you're going under a bit of pressure. I think Shay alluded to the keeper was fantastic tonight. He gave you a real platform, made good saves at the right time. He was brave in his decisions. The two fullbacks I thought were excellent, Livramento and Hull. Just a really good performance, especially had to change it. Botman went off and little tweaks here and there. But I just felt that the performance from minute one, and what you've got when you've got a player like Isak, he can just give you such an outlet. I never felt today that Arsenal had an outlet. If the ball went up to Havertz, there was never really anyone joining in with real pace. But the flip side of it, when Newcastle had it, they had tremendous pace on the break. You know, you spoke before the game about having that counter-attacking speed. Arsenal looked a bit paceless today, but the flip side was Newcastle. Every time they got the ball going forward with Gordon and players like that, you're bringing on Harvey Barnes off the bench. Jacob Murphy is a revelation. Now, I didn't see this player. I thought he would be, you know, at times maybe coming off the bench. He could be a good squad player, and I think it's so much credit to Eddie Howe. And it's not just players like him, it's players like Joe Linton, it's players like Dan Burn, how he works with players day in, day out and improving them. That's the art of management. It's not always about tactics, it's about improving players, and I think that's one of Eddie's biggest skill sets.
I think as well with Arsenal at this moment in time, what worries me for them, you know, on the outside looking in, is we're getting excited by set pieces all the time instead of excited about that free-flowing football, and that's what Arsenal's known for. And you're going away from it. We're shying away from it at this moment in time. You can see at times the players are running out of ideas. They can't at times play off the cuff, should we just say. They're playing to a system at times, and it gives the opportunity for Newcastle, who defended incredibly well and enjoyed defending, but it gave them time to get back into shape when there's space to attack teams. I think we go away from it at times.
And it was... Yeah. Sorry, Claude.
No, I was just going to say, Mark, I think what you're so right, and what Newcastle are, is they're a big, powerful side, so they're not going to be scared of set pieces. You know they've got players like Dan Burn that are going to head it, Botman's going to head it, you could bring Isak back, you've got Joe Linton. So they just thought to themselves, you know, when Arsenal do their whole set-piece routine and they all got the back post, they were like, we're going to stay in our positions, that ball's going to come in and we're going to make sure we attack it. And they were excellent. And they've still got work to do, because I've been in this position before as a player, and you think, yeah, we've done the hard work, we'll get them at home. Everyone's got to stay calm, because even the crowd are going to get excited. Arsenal will come back into this game. If they score a goal early, it's still game on. This is not a foregone conclusion just yet.
And going to the goals, and it was a set piece that did for Arsenal with the first goal.
Yeah, it was. I know Arsenal get a lot of credit, but I think there's a lot of staff at Newcastle as well who work hard in this as well. I think, going back to even when I played, Sam Lydish used to say, just floated as a goalkeeper into that, caused a lot of panic in the middle of the goal. And we spoke about it at half-time. I think Saliba gets drawn into the long ball. I don't think he should go the centre-half, unless he's going to win it, of course. And obviously, Jimmy mentioned the point about Odegaard picking up Isak, your most dangerous player, the player in form in the Premier League. You know, if anything, for me, Timber should be on the inside, maybe an Odegaard on the outside, so he's a natural defender. So you can see them here, light them up. Odegaard's got Isak. I know there's a slight push there, but there's always comings together in the box. I feel, I don't think it's enough to give a foul away, and you know, Newcastle get their nose in front.
I think it just bullies them all game. They couldn't handle him. And it genuinely blows my mind how you could have a situation where Odegaard is marking that man. He's the most fearsome striker in the Premier League right now. And he's thinking, I'm going to score. One is actually thinking, if the ball comes to me, I might be able to do something attacking-wise. I think it's a mistake.
But as well, players need to be able to adapt to situations. We reflect on this all the time, but players want to just play to a system or play to, I need to be here, I'm in the right position. Don't worry about anyone else instead of adapting. And the issue is if they go away from what they've been told, they may not play that next game, or they may be dragged. And you've got players that need to...
Is that right? So I need to be in this space for this free kick, rather than, oh, hang on a minute, I've suddenly got this man on me and maybe I shouldn't have, so let's switch.
Because it's like putting me at centre-half next to Gabriel there. There's just no... I'm not going to have any intention of defending it. Nothing against what Odegaard, but that's where they need to play as a player on the field. Particularly the captain should not got to be aware of this, to be honest. Say, look, this isn't my role. I shouldn't be in this position.
Put your hand
I think
up.
there's nothing
wrong with saying that. I mean, I've got a problem here. They
Yeah.
can call you Gabriel, call Saliba over. You come and mark.
Even the both goals, they're both avoidable. There's a lot of mistakes leading up to all the goals, I felt, and it's very out of character for Arsenal.
Absolutely.
The second goal, and Isak was instrumental here as well.
Well, I think Isak's brilliant. This is, you know, he just pulls off the two centre-halves and midfielders can't get near him. We'll keep an eye on. We talk about Murphy. I think he's been brilliant as well. That's a fantastic pass into Isak. Raya makes the save, and I think Timber on the back post again maybe goes to sleep a bit, and he's on his heels, and Gordon jumps in and nips in and scores a goal. But look at the movement. It's kind of like a pattern of play you do maybe on a day before a game, Mark, or whatever. you know, the Arsenal players they're pointing, they're saying, you pick him up the midfielders. The midfielders are one of the centre halves to go all the way in, and nobody does anything. But keep an eye on Isak. We talk about how brilliant he was. No one really sticks a glove on him. 3 players around him at this stage. He's got really quick feet, which I like at this stage. Hits an early shot. Keeper's not totally set. Gets a good save on it, and again, but Isak just brilliant on this, and of course Gordon. We always talk about the opposite winger, don't we? Coming in with a nice tap in for you.
But as well, the great thing about Isak, he always keeps on the move. He always gets the centre half guessing of whose response he should take on of him. Like you said there, everyone's confused because he puts himself in all these positions, and he's a player as well who's comfortable everywhere on the field. You see players at times will receive the ball in a position where you think he's not going to affect the game. He's always going to affect the game wherever he's on that field because he's keeping a lot of players on that pitch.
I think if we can see that again, explain that point too. I think it's important, Theo, because what he does, I think, so well, is just gets in between the 2 centre-backs, which makes it so difficult to mark.
But the great thing is then, he initiates the run, which creates Murphy to play that ball, but even before that, you see Gordon on the other side, he lights up as soon as Murphy's got...
There is a wide man.
And as well, when there's a wide man, when you've got a right footer now with Murphy going back to him, it's easier for a forward to make the run because it's not delayed. Like, they don't know when you're going to bring it in. That's, you know, for instance, Doku, who's a good player, but at times you're like, when are you going to cross it? And the difference now, Savinho crossing it, Haaland's scoring goals. He's getting rewarded.
I think it comes down to coaching as well with the manager. Yeah. I think if you clearly see the position in every single player, Isak, Sandro gets it, zings it into his feet, and then the movement, and of course you mentioned Gordon coming in off the far side. That's been coached, drilled day after day after day, and it comes natural, doesn't it? When it's a match day.
How often do you see that with Saliba and Gabriel, when that ball gets played up to a front man, where both of them are passive and they're not aggressive and going to try and press the ball?
Yeah.
But that tells me, excuse me, how fearful they were of Isak.
And because he caused them problems all evening with his movement.
From minute one, he faced up Saliba in the first or second minute of the game, and it was just like, I've got you here. I know exactly where I want you. This is the one. No, it wasn't this one, sorry. but that was good play. But again, every time it ball come out to him, they just couldn't get close to him. His movement was too good. I think this is the one here. He just gets him. Now he's got him. And
that's the one, isn't it?
Yeah, no, he just shapes him up. How often do we see that happen? But it just showed. That was the difference between the 2 sides. Arsenal had Isak, and Newcastle had Isak, and Arsenal. Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. I'm sure every Arsenal fan wishes, because that's what you've seen. That's what the level you have to get to. And Havertz couldn't really offer the same for Arsenal tonight.
But as well, like, you've got to look at the Newcastle players were enjoying, and the energy levels, the pace they showed to get up with him. At times, Isak's picked the ball up and he obviously got pulled back there, you know, leading to a foul. Should have been a foul maybe, but because they know something's going to happen when he gets the ball. There's a lot of ball carriers at Newcastle, I think, at times. And I felt for Havertz tonight because he was, like you said, he was very isolated. He didn't have that support network.
What's the when he drops in the couple of examples we saw for 4 or 5 yards and the centre halves don't go with him? What are the responsibilities of someone who played in your position then in the middle of midfield?
Well, I think you've got to say to Partey or to Declan Rice maybe to get around him. Like, I think what they did really well today was when Newcastle didn't have the ball, they went man for man in midfield. But when they had the ball, Willock was a willing runner all game. He was running behind you. Theo said it at the start of the game. His energy was too much at times for that Arsenal midfield. They couldn't handle it, and having to take off Thomas Partey. So I think I personally would, first of all, I would say as the 2 centre-backs, one of them's got to go tight, get close to him, don't let him turn, because as soon as he does that, you know you've got a major problem, because then he drifted behind the 2 midfield players. Great ball by Jacob Murphy, but they didn't want to get close to him because I think they were so scared of him.
Well, as well, like, for instance, Shay, if you being a goalkeeper, at times you wouldn't want your centre-half to go out wide, but Isak wants to take you into places you don't want to be, right? So I think Arsenal now in that level where, I don't want to go out to those positions, so we'll let Isak have it there. But the problem is he's going to cause you problems no matter where he is in that field. 7
wins in a row for Newcastle now, 5 clean sheets in those 7. And again, their defence was rock solid tonight, Show.
They strike me, Mark, actually, as they enjoy this side of the game as well. We all talk about the defensive players, and Isak grabs a lot of the headlines, but look at this for blocks. You know, I think Botman, Dan Burn, Dubravka came out and punched lots clear as well. But this is part and parcel. When you're away from home, semi-final of a cup competition, you're going to have to dig in. You're going to have to throw bodies on the line. That's a brilliant block from Botman. And bear in mind, he's been out for 9 or 10 months with a serious injury. His second game in 4 days. Again, look at that. You could throw a blanket around how many Newcastle players around the ball there, because they look at that's like scoring a goal, a block, or you know, making demands off yourself, and characters on the pitch, like defending for their lives. You know, the bodies back at Sandro Trinelli getting a block in right on the line as well. And that header from Tino Livramento. I mean, you talk about coaching and defending, and Tino and Lewis Hall on the other side are absolutely superb again tonight. Big Dan Burn. I mean, he's just Newcastle through and through, isn't he? What a performance for him. But that's a part of the game that some people don't talk about. But you have to enjoy that side of it. Newcastle, strike me, they enjoy that side of it also.
I know they don't have Fabian Schär at the moment, but is that not far off then their first choice back four now, which has slightly been rejuvenated now with Liverpool?
Well, he's got a problem, Eddie, now. Who starts the next game? I mean, obviously the FA Cup, he could possibly maybe rest Botman because he has played them 2 games in quick succession. Schär comes back into the team. But then the next Premier League game, he's got an issue. Who starts? You know, because Dan Burn's been brilliant as well in the last month or 6 weeks as well.
They've got a great squad, haven't they? You know, you've got Trippier can come in and out, and he's got great experience. And I'm sure if you're Tino Livramento, every day you'll be just watching him, learning. He's a good defender. He's played at the top level for so long. And Harvey Barnes come off the bench. Arsenal didn't have that luxury today. You know, they look so short without Bukayo Saka. You just think, where is the spark going to come from?
But that, with those 2 full-backs, now, there's so much discussion about what they were going to do with Trippier. Lewis Hall took time to settle into his Newcastle career. They now look, they're absolutely 100% their first choice
set in
full-back.
stone, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even watching there towards the end, you could see, he was warming up. Trippier was warming up on the sideline, and he was telling Livramento what to do at times, and even Almiron who came on. And I think that's the passion and the hunger and the desire he wants to improve players on the outside as well as a player, because everyone's really important. It's not the 11 that will win this cup; it's the whole squad.
I think
and
the togetherness
stuff.
feels like there's a real togetherness, and I think that comes again from the manager. He's built a squad of players that they're fighting for each other. Trippier's a great example. He really transformed the club when he came from Atletico. And again, them shots of them defending, clearing their lines, squeezing up, getting back together, celebrating a tackle, celebrating a block. It's part of building a team ethic, and they're really strong together.